Welcome to the demo presentation for the prototype of Contamination. Unfortunately, due to time constraints, we were unable to implement the man in the van mechanic, which was going to give the player a lot of the information they needed to know to play the game. So in lieu of that mechanic, we implemented just a little instruction UI in the beginning to give a player a rough idea of where they are, where they're going, and how they can access their target. Here in the starting area, the player can find all the necessary supplies such as torches, antibiotics, and various pipe fixing equipments. However, they can only carry so much, so resource management needs to be strategic. Antibiotics and duct tape can stack, but all other items take one whole slot. By pressing Q, the player can access their tablets where they can see their targets, how many there are, how many they've completed, and a mini-map that uncovers as the player travels. Players can drop items from their inventory by either dragging them out of the inventory slot or pressing R while in inventory to drop the item, and that way they can rearrange their inventory and decide what items they want to take with them. Every inventory item has information displayed if it's selected in the inventory that displays information relevant to the item. When the player finds an item that needs to be fixed, you can see that there's a progress bar to indicate how long they need to interact with it for. It also tells them what kind of repair it is and if they've fixed it or not. Audio cues provide clues to players about their surroundings, if they're close to a monster, if the monster has seen them, if they're close to a leak, etc. If the monster is allowed within range of the player takes damage, which increases their infection rate. The player can run and hide from the monster until the monster loses sight of them and eventually moves on. To fix parts, players need to be holding the correct item, which is prompted by the UI. The UI tells the player what items they can use to fix it, and then tells them if they're doing a proper fix or a temporary fix. Should the player's infection rate hit maximum, they will die to infection. The rising water levels in the game is caused by the leaks. So when a player finds a leak, they have two options. They can either temporarily fix it with duct tape, which reduces the rate at which the sewer floods but doesn't completely stop it, or they can fix it with a pipe, which stops it completely. So the quicker the player locates and addresses all the leaks in the sewer, the longer they will have to explore before the sewer floods completely and kills them. When a player finds a repair target in the game, a marker with a correlating color will appear on their minimap. However, once the player has fixed that target, the marker disappears, so they know that they've fixed it. If, though, they do a temporary fix or don't address it at all, the marker stays there, so they can always go back and find it. When a player consumes antibiotics, it reduces their infection and allows them to stay in the sewer for longer. Players can return to their starting location at any time to gather more resources. At starting location, there is a button that they can press to extract at any time. However, a premature extract before at least 50% of their targets have been reached will result in a termination of their job. When the player extracts, assuming they have reached at least 50% of their targets, they will be rewarded with a pay slip, which will provide them information on their efficiency, the water quality, their shift duration, all things that are based on how the player performed in the level, whether they did permanent or temporary fixes, how quickly they completed the level, and it all affects their paycheck at the end of the day. Thank you for watching our demonstration of contamination, and we hope you enjoyed the game.